Hi, welcome to Majin Cards, and in today's video I will be presenting you my deck list that I was using for online tournaments for the past month or so. So let's get started. So 1 Servant of Endymion, 3 Mighty Master, 2 Reflection, and 2 Magister. Now the reasons for these, obviously Servant of Endymion, it searches out and summons your Negates, Yugioh King and Mighty Master, or anything else they need. Now Mighty Master, I need 3 of them just in case I banish them off with my draw cards, which you will see later on. I chose 2 Reflection because 1, it acts as a low skill, and 2, I need them for my Absolute Dragon combo that I use. Having 1 was not enough, just in case I banish it off through my draw cards or if it goes into the graveyard. So I needed 2 of them, and 2 works well, and I find it's better than 1. 3 would be too much and it would break your hand. 2 Magister, I tried using 1, but in some matches I felt like I needed to see more than 1, and same as Reflection, having 3 was too much, as since when you're opening, having 3 is a bit too much, because Magister's effect allows you to special summon from the extra deck. So you would want to see it after you draw cards, not in your initial 5 draw. But so that's why I chose to have 2 of them. And then for my Mythical Beast engine, I chose to do 3 Yugioh King, 1 Cerberus, and 1 Garuda. Now, similar to Mighty Master, I want to see my Negates as much as I can, and if I do draw it to my hand, I can always Pendulum Summon it. It's just better having more than none, really. With Master Cerberus, I tried using 3, but nowadays, opponents, they know how Pendulum decks works, so they'll go to negate 2 Ash Cerberus, so it becomes a dead skill, which I can play around it. But let's say if I do pull this off, and then with my draw cards I draw into another Cerberus, it's just another dead hand. So I chose to reduce this down to 1, and I reduced the ratio for Mythical Institution to 1 as well. It's just a more of a consistent play, so I don't keep drawing into cards I already have used or don't need, really. 1 Garuda. Garuda's been really amazing. It allows me to use it as a hand trap when I'm going first, and when I go second, I can just use it to pop a spell and trap. And Eldritch being one of the main decks in this current meta, I can just pop one of their back rows to start with, and it's just a nice bait for them to negate the cards, to use up their negates, sorry. So it works well. I didn't use double mythical cards because I just thought it was just a bit too extra. It was just an extra extender, and instead I'd rather just have more draw cards than monster effects that can potentially be negated. So that's the Mythical Beast package. And now I'm running 3 Magical Abductor and 2 Magician Souls. I chose to have 3 Magical Abductor because obviously it has 2 amazing effects. If it's on scale, then I can easily just search out one of my negates that I need to Pendulum Summon, or if it's on the field and as a normal summon, it allows me to search out Magician Souls. Now I chose 2 Magician Souls instead of 3 because drawing into a second Magician Soul is just a dead hand, and this card doesn't really discard much. I mean, I do have a lot of darkness, but it's just better to have 2 than 3. And having 1, I tried using 1 works as well, but you ideally want to draw it in your first opening hands, and you want to save up your normal summon for your spellbook engine. So that's why I chose this ratio. And now onto the spellbook engine. It's nice and short. 1 blue boy, 2 secrets, and 1 knowledge. I tried doing 2, 3, 2. It does have more consistency, but there are some plays where I'd rather, instead of having seen these cards, I'd rather see a variety of different extenders that allows me to play it, because these cards are once per turn. So that's why I chose this ratio. And as well as that, the only thing is you just have to be aware and play carefully with these. So just don't waste it and just use the cards wisely. So if you do that, then you don't need a big ratio. That's my choice. And now for draw cards, 3 Pot of Desires, 3 Allure of Darkness, 1 Upstart Goblin, and 1 Day of Peace. 3 Pot of Desires, just for consistency. I normally side two of these out game 2 and 3 depending on the matchup, because I don't want to draw into a second Pot of Desires. It's just a waste. 3 Allure of Darkness. That's why I boosted up my ratio of Endymion and Mythical Beast to 3. So I have more of a variety to banish off, and obviously the 2 Magician Souls. Now you might have noticed I'm not using the Chronograph package, and that's because there are times against good players, they'll know what to ash to prevent you from playing. So let's say if I do have Magical Abductor on one skill and Chronograph on the other, if the ash Chronograph, then I can't carry on with my plays. And let's say if I use Pot of Desires and banish Time Gazer, then it's just quite a dead card, so I prefer not to use Chronograph in this build. 1 Upstart Goblin, just an extra card. And this is a new card, or not a new card, but a new addition to my deck, 1 Day of Peace. What it does is each player draws 1 card, and neither players take damage until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it basically saves, let's say if I go first and I draw into this and I activate it, I don't lose damage on my turn and his or her turn. And what that allows me to do is, 1, it gives me an extra draw. I mean, yes, it does give your opponent an extra draw, but I mean, you're playing Endymion, so you can just negate cards, right? As well as that, the reason why I play it is, let's say if they do break my board, I won't lose any life points, which will guarantee me a next turn. And the way I play is more of a grand game, so I would be able to use my cards' resources wisely. So that's my draw cards. Now, a few of my extenders: Reasoning and Instant Fusion. Chose these 2 is just to have an extra body on board. So, like I said, hand traps are quite well used nowadays, so having an extra body on board is always good, and it gives an extra spell counter, which it's a win-win situation, even if they do negate it. Instant Fusion, same thing, it gives an extra counter, an extra body on board, but mainly the extra body is a negate, which prevents opponents from using hand traps. And then obviously it's not an Endymion deck without the best searcher of the game, Spell Power Mastery. Searches out any boss monsters, basically. Now, to hold spell counters, I chose only 1 Mythical Institution, 1 Mythical Beast Burstery, 2 Citadel. Now the reasons for these, only run 1, I explained it before. I could run more, but just try to decrease the deck sizes, and I would like to see a variety of cards instead of just having 2 of the same. But I'm still open to running 2 or 3, but for now I'm only running 1. Burstery is such an amazing card. I could either, let's say if I use up all my cards and my opponent negates me from adding spell counters, they will never expect me to play Mythical Burstery, which allows me to add 2 counters to any of my cards that hold counters, really, and it mills 2 cards. So it can potentially mill a level 7 that allows me to go into a rank 7 play. As well as that, if it is face down and the opponent pops it, thinking it's, I don't know, super poly or something, it allows me to special summon a card that holds spell counters. So I can summon an extra negate, really. And 2 Citadel. And nowadays, I'm liking the fact that I draw into Citadel. It just holds counters. It has self-protection, and it allows me to go into. It allows my Endymion to use a skill effect more easily this way. So overall, I'm just using 2. Sorry, 3 is just too much for me. And to round it off, 1 Secret Village and 1 Terraforming. Obviously, Terraforming searches up my field spell. And Secret Village, I found that every player that I've played so far is maining either Super Poly or Dark Ruler no more. Super Poly I can play around, but Dark Ruler no more, it just gets rid of all my counters. So it's just a big fallback. So this prevents the opponent from activating Dark Ruler no more, really. And if they do try to pop it, then I'll obviously have Negates to prevent that from happening. So overall stops the game. And Terraforming obviously just searches out my field spells. And I'm only running 1 because you have so much draw power. And it's not really important. If you draw it, you draw it. If you don't, then it's fine. Now onto my extra deck. Now my my instant fusion target, Millennium as restrict. It's a negate. And what is Vortex Dragon? Omni negates. Then for my link cards, I run 1 Anima. Now I have this. People do play around it, but there are some times where their field is fully packed and they take up their zones. So I can just take control of 1 of their cards and then link upwards like that. For my link 2s, 1 Crowley, 1 Cross Sheep, Daybreaker, and IP Masquerena. Now I chose these cards. Obviously, Crowley, Spellbook Engine play. Cross Sheep, I got this from Thrift Gaming, really. Going to a rank 7, Absolute, link it off to Cross Sheep, summon either your Blue Boy or Magician Souls to 1 of the zones that it points to, and then it allows me to, when I can special summon what has Vortex to the zone it points to. That allows me to special summon a Blue Boy or Magician Souls, and then after that I can just go into my link free play of Citadel. Daybreaker, I don't go into it in round 1. It's more for a grind card, and opponents really don't expect me to have this. It's a destruction, and it allows me to pendulum summon 2 from the extra deck. IP Masquerena, it's mainly for the next card I'm going to show you, which is Unicorn. It's just a prevention. And then 2 Citadel, 2 Celine, sorry, not Citadel, 2 Celine. It's just really amazing. Having 3 will just take up more space in my extra deck. I find 2 to be perfect, because after you resolve 2 of them, after you've resolved 1, you may go into the second one, but you never. Well, I don't see myself going into a third one. I just go into my rank 4 plays instead, such as link 4 plays, such as Borrow Sword and Access Cold Talker. Now, obviously, Borrow Sword is just amazing. Access Cold Talker is as amazing. It gets rid of opponent's cards, so I can just attack over any problematic card, and then if they do have a back row, then I can just get rid of their negates in their back row. Really amazing. And then for my Xyz play, 1 Abyss Dweller and 1 Oda's Absolute. This is just so important in my extra deck, as it goes into Oda's Vortex and Abyss Dweller. I don't really summon Abyss Dweller much, but you never know when I'll need it. So yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I'm missing 1 card, and that is Nightmare Phoenix. I've misplaced it somewhere, I don't know where it is, but Nightmare Phoenix, amazing card. I wouldn't use it for IP Masquerena, as in I wouldn't link this away for Nightmare Phoenix. But it's just a good card to get rid of cards such as Imperial Iron Wall or Anti-Spell or any of the problematic floodgates really. And that's it for my deck profile. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you would change anything, and have a great day.